Good evening, everyone.
Hello everyone, good evening, and Aniruddha, thank you very much for joining in, and yeah, welcome to the session of Global Game Jam 2021.
Hi, thanks
So,
for.
so Aniruddha is actually from India, and he is actually working for Unity India and India subcontinent, who's actually pursuing the Sri Lanka also. So, Aniruddha, over to you. Have a kind of introduction about yourself.
So hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Aniruddha. I'm a technical artist and a game developer from Pune in India. I work with Unity Technologies as a solutions engineer or a field engineer for the Indian subcontinent. So I'm just going to be talking to you guys about making games with Unity for a game jam, and we're going to spend some time looking at some assets. We're going to spend some time talking about some best practices that you can follow when you're doing a game jam. And then after that, I want to spend some time with all you guys, answering your questions and resolving your doubts if I can.
Yeah, cool. So, what do you think about having a kind of a 3D creating a 3D games in here? What will be the things that Unity provides to make it easy?
So, so making a 3D game with Unity is actually very easy. All you need to do is head over to the asset store. We will check it out in just a bit, and it's very straightforward to set up some things with Unity with say level design with characters. Um for a game jam, however, I think it's better to rely on some free assets for your design and get some nice looking artwork from the asset store and start jamming ideas together. Because if you are a team of programmers, then you're not going to have many artists at your disposal at the in these next 3 days to create really good looking artwork that looks like a very polished game and things like that. So I think it's a good idea to head over to the asset store and take a look at some of the nice free assets we have there,
Yeah.
especially if
So,
you're
what
trying.
about what about having a 2D game? 2D game. What
The
things
same
have?
thing largely applies, I think. There are quite a bit of 2D assets on the asset store, but you can also head over to opengameart.org. So let me actually just quickly see if we can show that. So opengameart.org is a website. Let me just quickly share my screen, or at least
Yeah,
this
sure.
window. So OpenGameArt is this amazing website that has artwork generated by the game developer community from all over the world. And this artwork is basically free to use. It is generally under very permissive licenses. And if you're making 2D games, you're going to see a lot of high quality artwork here, especially for 2D games. It's not limited to only 2D games. It also includes 3D art here, and it has like a very nice search feature that you can actually employ to find the right kind of artwork. Like you can see here, there's plenty of 3D artwork that you can take from this site. Like there is environments, there is a 3D road. For example, there is this road tile set, right? So let's see if it loads. Yeah. So you could just get this tile pack for your game and like quickly go after designing your game with this style pack. This is actually by a very famous artist called Kenny, who does great work by submitting a lot of CC0 public domain assets for the game dev community. So this, I think, is a good place to start if you want to bring in artwork into Unity and don't have a lot of time to do that. And also, you don't have to worry about um, the legality of these assets, because you can just check what kind of license you are okay with, like when you want to make this. The safest one is usually this CC0, which means you
Yeah.
don't need to you don't need to credit the author, you don't need to buy any licenses, you don't need to take permissions, you don't need to have any attributions, or you are free to modify the artwork as you need to. And then after that, you can just keep that all out of your mind and focus on your game itself, which I think is very important when you are doing a jam, like for just 2 days or things like that.
Yeah. So how about since that we are having the global game jam this year as an online game jam, so how about handling the multiple teams in remote locations? What are the features that Unity provides to
So yeah, that
tackle
is
that?
something really interesting. So in the Unity editor, let's see if I can pull that up. You can actually make use of this feature. Let me share my Unity editor window.
Yeah, sure.
If you can see the Unity editor now, over
Yeah,
here
yeah.
you see a bit of a cloud icon, right? So you can actually go here and it will open up the services for uh, for Unity that we offer, right? And here you can see something called collaborate. So this collaborate is going to be all you need is basically a Unity ID, and you need to create an organization, which is nothing more than like an, a name for
Like
your
a
team,
team.
like a team, correct? And it can be one person, it can be many people, whatever it is, right? So you just have to create that organization. If you have multiple team members, you need to go to the Unity ID dashboard, which is where you basically edit your Unity account settings. You have to create a project ID here, or you can use existing project IDs if you have them. Uh, Let me just see that. Show you that. Oh, oh, yeah. So now the project is linked, and then you can use collaborate in between team members. So different people can be working on different parts of the project, and they can actually put their all their work together by committing to a project in one place. They can sync their project with each other, basically. So it's just reloading that. I think
It's
it's
like kind of a yeah,
yeah, I think it's because I'm screen sharing that it's not able to connect very quickly. But yeah, you can.
yeah, because I think it's actually
This is a
using
this is
more
a
resources.
internet activity. Yeah, there it is. There it is. It's just taking time to uh, you know uh, connect, because we are streaming and there is video sharing and
Yeah,
things like that. Yeah, there it is. Like if you can just all
and
you
you
do
also communicate with the server.
correct. So all you have to do is just reiterating the steps that you need to have the collaborate packages installed, which is installed by default. Then you need to have an organization. You need to add more people to that organization through the Unity dashboard, and this way you can actually connect with each other and dump the project together if you need to, right? So this is something you can use as an alternative to GitHub or Git storage, or doing some sort of custom solution to collaborate by upload. You don't have to upload to Google Drive and download from Google Drive and do all that thing. You can just have the project in one place like this. Another great asset that I want to actually talk about is some of the assets that Unity provides out of the box. One of these assets is actually this visual scripting, which is now part of Unity itself. You don't need to for like at least for simple functionality, you will know you will not need to do a lot of coding. If you don't have programmers on your team, if you only have basically artists on your team, then actually what you can do is you can look at Bolt visual scripting, and it will help you create a game without writing code. It will be definitely faster than having to write code if you just follow some Bolt tutorials along. It helps if you have a little bit of experience with programming, but it is not a requirement. You can follow along the Bolt tutorials, and in just a few hours, you'll be up to speed with how Bolt works. If you're using a Unity version, say of 2019 or 2020, all you need to do is go to the asset store, click on My Assets. This is a free asset now. You can just click on My Assets here, go back to the Unity editor, and over here in the package manager, you want to open the package manager window from window, package manager, and in the package manager, you want to go to My Assets. Under My Assets, you will see Bolt right here, and then you can just download and install Bolt right off. And Bolt is very straightforward, and Bolt is going to be a very time-saving feature when it comes to
And
create.
I think there's good tutorials for the Bolt also.
Absolutely. There is documentation for Bolt. There is good tutorials for Bolt already. Bolt is has been around for a very long time, and it's now it was acquired by Unity last year, and now it is part of Unity's standard offering. So beginning from 2021, uh, Bolt will be actually given as part of Unity. You won't even have to uh, download it
Download from
from.
the assets.
So it will be in the package manager directly under your Unity offered assets, right? So I think that is one thing you can take a look at. Let me show you some other packages or sets that come from the asset store. So if you're using an older version of Unity, you can actually go for the standard assets that used to come with Unity 2017. Some of them are not going to be working with modern versions of Unity, but there are some very useful things in there in the standard assets. For example, there are scripts for third person and first person controllers that you can just take out of the standard assets and use in your game. So if I go to the standard assets, these are for 2018-4, so these are for the LTS version. If I go here and if I take a look at the package content, you're going to see that there are a bunch of scenes, but there are also separate assets that you can just plug out of this project, download them in the project and plug out of there. And in here, you're going to see first person character templates, third person character templates. So there are animations, there are prefabs that you can just edit to have your artwork in there or have your scripts in there. There are obviously scripts to do all of this. There are some prototyping scenes. So these can be good starting points for you when you're jamming your game idea very quickly, and you don't want to spend a lot of time, architecting the game or writing frameworks and basic functionality for the game, where player movement or gun mechanics or vehicle simulation or things like that. Talking about vehicle simulation, there is another asset. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's see. So these are all free assets, but there is a vehicle tools. Yeah, so this is the package I'm talking about. So if you're, for example, making a car or racing game, then you can actually take a look at this quite lesser known package from Unity that are not a lot of people are aware of. So this gives you vehicle templates that you can just start working off of, and it makes just takes the work out of vehicle skeleton rigging, as you can see here. There's a wizard that is part of this project, and you have these three basic templates. I believe there used to be a video, but seems to have been taken down. But yeah, there is this template scene that works with Unity Terrain, and you have a fully set of vehicle template that you can follow to create a racing game or things like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
How about
The
displaying
asset store is a, yes, please go on.
yeah? How about showcasing some HUD? Is there any free assets for that for the UI part?
For the UI, actually, I would go back to Open Game Art for UI, because Open Game Art has a huge library of UI assets, and you could just bring that into Unity project and then start with a UI mockup with the basic Unity UI sprites, and then just replace that artwork with the artwork that you get from Open Game Art. Because right now for a jam, you really don't have that kind of time to, design every
Design,
asset
yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's better to just create a mock-up of your UI first. Make sure that all of it works, and then once you've ensured and you put in all the functionality for the UI, you can just start replacing the button images, the slider images, and a lot of that is going to be available on Open Game Art just off the bat. And you can say that it's kind of verified because it's made by the community, so you can actually check out the comments under there, and you can check out compatibility with different kinds of engines. It is not necessarily that everybody is going to, create the same, follow the same template for creating UI art, but at the same time, it's going to be very it's going to be very similar, but you need to be aware of those nitty gritties that might be there in between engines.
Yeah. Any good assets for mobile kind of gaming? If you go at one of our jammers planning to develop a mobile application, what will are some of tips from you?
So to create, actually, Bolt works very well. If you want to create uh, some sort of mobile gaming functionality, then for the programming, on the programming side, Bolt works really, really well because Bolt is it's possible to make cross-platform code with Bolt. Another thing that you could possibly look at is if you're doing some sort of augmented reality games, then from the Unity registry, you can take a look at AR Foundation over
AI
here.
Foundation.
So if you're doing, I find it unlikely that somebody will do AR games for a global game jam. But lately, with everybody having smartphones, it does seem likely. Or if you're specifically targeting have a AR idea in mind for the jam, then you can actually use AR Foundation. So AR Foundation works very well because you can it makes a lot of things easier for you by setting having preset templates for camera tracking and the basic AR setup that you need to do for making the application run. It works on top of the AR Core and ARKit plugins, ARKit for Apple and AR.
Both platforms.
Yeah, it works across both platforms, and it just abstracts over those platforms to give you some direct access to some functionality. Same thing is there for the XR plugin management. You can actually use this if you plan to make a VR game, for example. If you're using something like Google Cardboard or maybe even an Oculus Quest, then you can use the same thing is being done here. This will take care of the VR tracking functionality as well as the input.
The controllers.
Yeah, yeah. And all you need to do is just, for example, if you're using Oculus Quest, you would just install the plugin for Oculus Quest. Or if you were using Vive, you would install the Open XR plugin that comes with, that is kind of built in or coming from the asset store, things like that.
Yeah. So if we are going to build any kind of a mobile game, and how kind of is there any good plugins to get controllers like moving forward and backwards and all the UI related
Uh,
controllers?
this an older asset, but if we go to the free assets over here, in the standard assets, there used to be a something called cross-platform input, right? So over here, uh, in under the standard assets in
Uh,
2018, there is a cross-platform input. If you're using
yeah,
2018, 2019, this should still mostly work. Uh, However, if you want to go for something a little bit more modern, then I would say it's a better idea to like look for cross-platform input on the asset store. There are multiple options available, and some of them are free, some of them are not, some of them are paid, but you're going to find something that you can use for free on the asset store very quickly. Or if it's going to be paid, it's not going to be very expensive. You could probably get away with spending, like, $5 to $10 if you have a credit card, or if you have a PayPal account. And on the Unity side, if you want to uh, speed up that process, then under packages over here, in the package manager, we have the new input system that actually takes a lot of the code part out, but it actually is still being developed. So I don't think it might be the right time for
use
jammers
the
to
game jam.
yeah, it's not the right time to learn the new input system. It's just better to either go with the cross-platform input that comes with the standard assets, or just rely on something from the asset store that makes your job easy for you.
How about if person is starting, can they use a kind of a game kit in the game jam? So I remember that Unity offers a few of the game kit that with all the
Correct. Yeah,
tutorials and
and that excellent point, because that is exactly what I was going to show after this. So in the assets provided by Unity, provided you are not using any of the fancy scriptable rendering pipelines like HDRP or universal rendering pipelines, there are two excellent kits available right from Unity's side as it is. So what you can actually see here is the 3D game kit and the 2D game kit, and I will show you a part of the 3D game kit in just a second. So these game kits are basically real working prototype games that are built with Unity. All the assets are there, and these are meant to be starting points for this kind of game, for a 3D game or a 2D game. So if you are doing, say, for example, a 2D platform game, this could be your starting point. All the frameworks are there, all the template prefabs are there. You could just go over those, you could study those, and uh, you could design your own prefabs in the same way. Then other than that, there is the karting micro game that comes
yeah.
from Unity. This is something new. There is also an FPS micro game. So these micro games are basically very condensed templates of games that you can refer to while creating for creating them, and this works very well for a jamming activity like a global game.
Yeah,
This,
like it got all the
this
controls and it got the UI. So yeah,
Yeah, it'll take a lot of the guesswork out of uh, how to do something. There is also this very excellent but slightly older 2D roguelike pack if you want to do procedural generation based games. And then there is another sample for the adventure game. All these assets are
yeah.
from Unity. You can be sure that they have been tested, and you can be sure that they will be vetted for quality. The reason I'm
And
recommending mostly
even the
Unity assets.
adventure, I think there's a good video set of to have the look at. I think the adventure series, they have a good
Yeah,
tutorial.
yeah. So the
So
adventure sample game is it's again that this project has been there for quite some time. The It has been supported on many Unity versions. It is basically like a point and click adventure game. Uh, if you want to do, say, for example, find the hidden object or things like that, this would be a very useful template uh, uh, for a detective game or a point and click adventure or things like that. Other than that, you already have, like, a pack coming from Unity. You have an entire Viking village that was made for Unity 5. So a lot of these assets are still usable. It's not. It's just because they're old that we don't see them a lot. But for a jam, these assets are very usable, and you could get away uh, like a lot of saved time when it comes to creating levels for you, and you could just go ahead and make stuff with these assets. If there is some licensing limitation, then it will be mentioned over here in the asset overview itself, and then you don't have to worry about that. But you really want to make sure that you take advantage of all the amazing asset store content that you can use to save time, especially in a jamming session. There is a ton that here that you can use here.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, we actually covered almost many things that for now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think this should start off people with some interesting ideas, and it will actually help people get a lot of ideas about how to make something that they have in mind, because there is going to be something here that they can refer to no matter what kind of game they're trying to make. There is going to be something here that gives you a starting point to make something. For example, like if you wanted to do something like Diablo, then the 2D roguelike template is where you would start. If you wanted to do something like Tomb Raider, then the 3D game kit is where you would start. If you wanted to do something more like Spelunky, then you would start with the 2D game kit. And if you would just want to have exploration, and if you want to do something more like free form and not really have a clear idea yet, then you could start with the standard assets, or maybe the 3D game kit light that you can use to just try out a few ideas.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. So I think we've covered a lot of the what you could do or how you could start for the jam. What I
Yeah,
really take some time to take questions and like ask answer any specific questions if the community has any.
yeah, cool. I can share with our Slack with this link, and I think people are still on ideation phase because we about 30 minutes ago we announced the theme. So theme is actually lost and found. So people actually currently working on the ideas. Let's see
Yeah.
if we can pop up some
So
questions. So
happy to help with any of those ideas. I have done a fair share of jams myself, and all of them were made with Unity, and I have won at least like 2 3 times. So if you have anything that you want to ask about a jam, like how to approach a theme or things like that, I'm very happy to help. Um,
yeah, that's great.
so let's I think just give it a minute. Meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll start showing off the 3D game kit assets that we have here. So, for example, now what I'm showing you guys is the 3D game kit, right? So, the 3D game, this is actually a different version of the 3D game kit. If you go to the asset store and you search for 3D game kit Lite, this is the one that I'm talking about. Yeah, right here. 3D game kit Lite. It's interesting that it got the first result even with the exact search term. This is something we need to look at. Anyway, so yeah, this is 3D Game Kit Lite. So it comes with some essential assets from the larger 3D Game Kit. It has some characters. It has some building blocks. It has some creatures, and it has
The animations, I think, right?
the navigation, the input, and everything just basically mapped out. So if I go to scenes, and if I from this template,
Sorry.
right? So if I just hit play, I
Okay, you
believe.
got a few VFX going on. I think, yeah. Post
So
processing
this
stack is
is
there.
yep. So this is something that you can actually start working with right away. And
Like I
now
saw the
this is a
jumping.
template scene, right? So it even has like basic UI. So if I hit escape, It gives me like this basic UI also. So this becomes a very good starting point for you to create a 3D game without having to worry about how do I do player movement or how do I do weapon actions or things like that. Right? All you need to do is basically have a kick-ass level design idea, and you need to put all these things together, and you would just replace your asset for let me just actually step out of play mode. Yeah, so what you would do is you would for example replace the character with some other character that works very similarly, that you can make in Blender, that you can get from the asset store or from 3D Game Art, OpenGameArt.org. You have this simple plain surface, but what you would do is you could
Design game.
start adding the stuff on this surface itself, or you could have a look at how what is there on that surface, what kind of behavior is done around that surface. You could take a look at this hierarchy and try to replicate that when you're doing a 3D game, or maybe start editing this one or taking things out of this one. Already, a lot of these things are prefabs, so you can actually use them in different scenes, right? So that is one thing you can do definitely, and it also comes with a manual actually. So if you just go to download the 3D Game Kit or 3D Game Kit Lite project, there is a README here, and it has a manual link.
Manual.
And the manual link is going to actually show you. Let me see if I can open the manual link.
So it's a Unity Learn link. So it's going to be a complete tutorial is there, right?
Yeah, it's going to be like the whole thing. There won't be anything that you need to dig around or find more information about. It's going to have like the whole. Uh, it has a whole walkthrough basically about how
Yeah.
to
It's also has a
build
pro builder, so
a
which
builder.
means it is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
easy to build the world.
Yeah, so that's interesting because this surface, the texture that you're using, this is made with ProBuilder. So you could directly open ProBuilder from here, from this plane, and start editing it and doing all sorts of things with it. So this is very very powerful if you're starting out. This is very very powerful if you don't have a lot of time to implement these frameworks, and you can just go ahead and just make some uh, good looking level designs and then worry about the artwork later and replace that in when you can. Especially what happens is when you are making all sorts of uh, iterations on your design, uh, you want to get those done as soon as possible so that towards the end you have enough time to upgrade your project with the right kind of artwork, right? So what you want to do is you want to make use of these systems like ProBuilder, the existing templates, the frameworks that come with Unity, and then all you need to do is once you're finalized with those ideas and with those designs, you just need to take out the uh, the prototypical artwork and replace it with the good looking one, and that actually is a very good way to track your jam progress or make sure that you're focusing on the right things at the right time when you're doing the jam.
Yeah, cool.
As you can see here,
So
it's a
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
a
covers
complete tutorial.
practically everything. There's even teleporting in there. I don't know for what, but there's still teleporting in there. So there is
Yeah,
enemies, there is UI, there is progress indication, there is gameplay features like going in and out of water and all sorts of things. So this is something definitely that everybody who's doing a 3D game with 3D game kit can benefit from, and it will actually help you all like a lot of in a lot of ways.
and Unity Learn is free now for everyone, right?
Yeah, Unity Learn is absolutely free. Learn Premium, basically. Unity Learn was always free. Learn Premium was the paid aspect of Unity Learn that is now absolutely free for everybody to use. This is one of the decisions that Unity has taken due to the pandemic and the things that people want to need to work from home and upskill themselves. And so this is absolutely going to be definitely useful for everybody who's entering the jam right now. So you can actually go over to learn.unity.com, and then you can have a look at. Yeah, so on the Learn platform, you can actually start at the point that you are familiar with or you are comfortable with. So if you're an artist, you can start with the art stream. If you're a guy who's more into scripting, then you can start with that. You can search by features. You have several creator kits like this available with you. Hang on, I think. Okay, the slide just went away. But you have some creator kits here. You have specific tutorials for specific topics. For example, there is this RPG game creator with C Sharp. Then there is a Lego behavior.
Lego.
Mind you, the Lego behavior pack and the Lego things are not to be used in game jams, but they are still excellent learning materials, right? And then you have a lot of
Micro games.
micro games, not just micro games. You have a lot of general content about specific features. Like for example, you want to use uh, addressable assets, right? So you would just be able to search for addressable assets over here, and then you'll just get all the content on addressable assets right in one place, and you would be able to do it modularly, like the in the order that you want, and you can that you can find pretty much everything that Unity has to offer uh, for training on the Unity Learn Premium platform. Basically, but you still need to have a Unity ID so that you can access everything right away.
And it's kind of a gamified, so you get points, I think, even you complete any stuff.
Yeah, there is an experience system with the premium platform. Do we have any questions coming in from the audience?
No, not yet anything. Yeah. I think maybe they are kind of busy, but there are still people are leaving the session. That's good, but they are not yet any questions.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I want to actually ask the audience, like, what kind of games are you guys planning to make?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Had a minor disconnection issue.
No, not
Yeah. So
worry, no worries. I'm actually
any
waiting for
any
any questions or any feedbacks coming from
yeah,
here.
happy
And
to answer
there are
questions.
there are few people who actually currently seeking for teams, so it will take some time to get off the ideas.
Oh yeah. So on the idea side, I think what was the theme again for this year?
It's a lost and found. You
Lost
want
and
to see? Yeah, I can show you a little bit of video for that one.
sure, I'll stop sharing this screen. Hang on.
Yeah, sure. I will play it again. You can see it.
How are you? I'm good. Oh my god.
So it's kind
So
of an
already,
very
yeah, already from the video itself, there are a lot of ideas to take,
yeah
and is a very interesting approaches that you can take to the lost and found theme. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of point and click adventure games this year, where there is some kind of investigation going on, some kind of detective story going on, and things like that. There will be puzzle solving games. So while these are all perfectly valid ideas, in order for your game to get attention, you want to make something original. So what the jammers should try to do is maybe combine a couple of genres together, uh, and that doesn't always necessarily work, but it gives you something new to work with and it makes your game stand out. And you just have to make sure that you're thinking about the right genres to combine. For example, if you're doing an investigation game, then doesn't make a lot of sense to include racing as a mechanic into it, or maybe it can. Like it depends on how you approach it. So you need to be able to uh, think ahead a little bit and look at the broader picture and see how things can actually go together. So this video is actually a very good inspiration point. I think they've done a great job of providing the right kind of inspiration, the right kind of ideas for people for this year's theme. The theme itself is quite interesting. I think we're going to see a lot of great games this year for GGJ.
cool. So yeah, it's been around 40 minutes fun, and thank you very much for your time. Like you're having this
Yeah,
you in this time
I'm
is
happy. I'm
really
happy to be here. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah, cool.
having me. And I think the jam has been on for about a couple of hours now, right? It started,
Yeah,
started at 12. So all the best for all the jammers and all the best for everybody who's doing a game jam for the first time. Keep doing these. You love these. This is one of the the best experiences you can have as a game developer. You should definitely do as many games as you can. If you guys need any help with your games or anything like that, please feel free to contact me on Twitter. The what you
yeah,
see on is actually my Twitter handle. You can just send a message to me on Twitter, and I'll try and help as much as I can. I want to actually post a link in the chat. Let me see if
yeah.
I
Just
can.
give me. I can share it. Yeah, just put it in the
So
private chat, then I can put it in the comments.
yeah, it's the Indian subcontinent unofficial Discord server for Unity developers. So I just want to share a link to that.
Yeah,
You
cool.
can actually join in and ask questions. If you need help, you can ask people for that. So I'm just going to create an invite link and not setting a limit on it. Yeah. Where should I send you the link, Chatu?
Yeah, you can put it into the private chat in this section. I think in your right
Okay,
side.
okay. I
Yeah,
think, yeah, I found it.
yeah, yeah. Got it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so
I'm
this
going to
is
show it
the,
around.
yeah, yeah. So this is the unofficial, for now, Unity Indian subcontinent server that includes India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and obviously Sri Lanka. So you
And
can
Nepal.
and you can have if you want to ask questions, if you want to talk about games, if you want to talk about education and things like that, please do hop by. This is something that works very well with the user groups that we have in various regions. So this is something that I've started recently for developers in this part of the world. So you can definitely come in. You're welcome to come in. Once again, thanks for having me. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And all the best for GGA. We have a question coming in actually. Chatu, I think you're on mute.
Ah, sorry. Yeah, so we got a question coming in. So, what are the technical limitations on game development with Unity Engine?
The technical limitations are very, very. tall, I would say. So I don't think you're going to run into any technical limitations while making a game for the Jam at least. From the technical side, you would say that Unity doesn't have some features like hair strand rendering or volumetric clouds yet. But again, you can just go to the asset store for that, and there is going to be something that you can use to make sure that happens. Any more questions coming in?
Yeah, let's see. Hmm. Going twice, going twice, and going once.
Yeah, but as it is, if anybody has any
Yeah.
questions, feel free to ask them on the Discord server. Feel free to reach
Oh,
out
and
to me
please, yeah, you
on Twitter.
Twitter also. Yeah, I saw that
Yeah,
Aniruddha is actually kind of active in Twitter, so you can actually bug him in Twitter, and yeah, this way. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely.
and you got to thank you for your question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you
No
very much
problem,
for asking
Nishan.
the
Yeah,
questions also.
yeah. Okay then. Once again, all the best
Yeah,
for GG, and thanks for having me here.
yeah, and yeah, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so yeah, have a nice day and have a nice weekend.
Yeah.